Hi everybody, I'm Becky Adams and thanks for joining me for another edition of Inspiration Station on the weekly Scrapper blog for Scrapbook Expo. Before we get started in our layout today, I wanted to show you a couple of things that I did before turning on my camera just to make things move a little bit smoother as far as time goes. But I just wanted to tell you what I've done. The first thing that I did was cut out a couple of these pinked circles. I just use a manual die cut machine and these manual dies, and I cut these circles out, and then I took my paper piercer and a mat and I traced a circle with a pencil, and then over top of those circles, or on top of my pencil lines, I just took my paper piercer and pierced a hole clear around the circle. And then just using some orange embroidery thread, I just stitched around each of these circles. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with those circles here in just a minute. The other thing that I did before I got started on this video was to take a sheet of alphabet stickers, and I just did 2 of each letter and adhered them, just lined them up and used some strong adhesive and adhered them to a piece of white cardstock. If you look really closely, you'll notice that I didn't have letter stickers for each and every spot, so I used a hashtag there, and then I filled in here at the bottom where I had some empty space with some more punctuation marks. But I'm going to set this aside and we'll come back to that in just a minute. But I wanted to show you, this is the photo I'm going to be working with today. And then inside, this is going to be an interactive page, and I'm going to have journaling inside this little file folder here. But to get started, I'm going to create the background. And I just got this really pretty tone-on-tone blue pattern, and I'm just going to add this. It's just another blue with some kind of just arrow, almost just white pattern to it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back of that, and then I just want to cut or to center this in the center of my background paper. Okay, and then on top of that, I'm going to come back here to this cardstock that has the letter stickers on it, and I use these letter stickers for 2 reasons. I think that this is a fun way to use up some of your letter stickers, and the other reason is because the photo that I'm talking about today is about my son and about how he achieved a goal in kindergarten of working on his sight words. So there's 2 reasons that I used a lot of letter stickers on this page. So I'm just going to take some adhesive and adhere my photo right here on top of this file folder. I love this file folder and the cameras on it, and I thought it made a great mat for this photo and really makes it stand out. So I'm just going to leave that there for just a minute before I adhere anything. And then I wanted to add a little bit more color. So far I've got kind of neutral, I guess not neutral, but more drab colors that I wanted a pop of color. So I'm going to take this piece of yellow pattern paper, and I'm just going to adhere that right to the very corner of my white cardstock here. And before I forget and get all my layout done here, I'm going to adhere this white cardstock. And once again, I'm just going to be centering it in the other layers that I've already created. Okay, then my photo is going to go just to the side here, but I'm not going to adhere that just yet. This is where I'm going to come in and add some of these circles that I created. And I'm also going to add a few of these labels. And these labels are ones that I have hand cut from a piece of pattern paper. And as you can see, this pattern paper just has lots of different labels on it, and I thought that it would be fun to fussy cut some of those and use them as labels on this layout. This is also a great way to add a little bit of color. I'm going to use this larger circle down here, and before I adhere anything, I'm going to just kind of lay it all out and make sure that I have the placement just as I want it. I'm going to kind of offset these labels down here, and then these ones are going to go right up here, just kind of look like they're peeking outside of my photo mat here. Okay, I think that's basically how I want it, so I'm going to start adhering things. I think first I'm going to adhere these circles. And you can see just a little bit of washi tape on the back of these, and that's simply to hold my embroidery thread in place. That's just what I had on my desk when I needed to stick those threads down. Okay, and I still haven't adhered my photo, and I'm not going to just quite yet. I want to get some of these other embellishments placed exactly where I want them before I stick my photo down really well. It'll be a lot easier to change the placement of my embellishments if I don't have my photo adhered perfectly, or adhered really well in this case. Okay, and then I'm going to, let's see, yeah, I think I want the yellow one behind there. I want more of the red, actually, just at the top here. I want more of the red label to be showing because I already have quite a bit of yellow here in this corner. So I want to make sure that I've got quite a bit of red. And then I think now I'm going to check the placement of my title, but I think I'm just about ready to adhere that photo. And I've got my title here. The title of this layout is Sight Words, because that's what my son was working on, was his sight words. And I just to save time, I've put the thickers out here just so that I can check placement and get them placed quickly. And I think I've got a bigger gap here than I want, so I'm going to adhere the sight portion of this title, and I'm going to add just a little bit of a gap. I don't want quite as big of a gap as I initially had. So I'm just going to push down the top of my thickers really well. I'm going to just carefully bend my ruler over, and that just places my title right where I want it. Okay, and I think now I'm ready to adhere my photo, this file folder here. I'm going to use some glue dots here because this file folder is a little bit heavier and a little bit bulkier, so I want to make sure that it will stay in place. And now I'm going to put the date stamp on one of my labels here. Just checking to make sure that I've got the correct date. And then I'm going to put that right on the red label because I want the red label to be on top so it mirrors what I did down here. Okay, so now we'll take this yellow portion of this label. We're going to put it right over here. I'm not going to push that down all the way just yet, because I want to make sure that we've got enough room and we can get... I want to make sure that the labels are equal distances from the corner of my photo mat there. And then I'm just going to tuck that right there. Okay. And now we've got most of the main elements of my page on here. I've got my photo and my title, the date, and then I am going to add a little bit of journaling in here. And you'll see that I've already got some words on some more of those label stickers. And what I did is that I just took some brush pens, just a black brush pen, and just quickly wrote down some of the words that my son had been working on, and put them inside this little file folder, so that someday when he looks back, he'll probably think that those words were so easy. But on the journaling, it tells how proud I am that even though he's just a little guy in kindergarten, he's worked really, really hard to achieve the goal of learning this particular set of words. Okay, so now I've got my title and photo and the date and the journaling, and I've got a little bit of embellishment, but I wanted to add just a few more things. I wanted to add just some fun, just to bring in a little bit of this craft color, to just put some photo corners on the edges of my photos. These are self-adhesive photo corners. You can get them just about any craft store, and they're really, really easy. You just slide the corner of your photo in there and just set it back down, and they're all stuck. These work great too if you have a photo that you don't want to put adhesive on, maybe a vintage photo or an irreplaceable photo. But these ones are just fun for a little bit of extra color. Now I want to add a few of these. These are just cork stars, and I love that they match my photo corners here, so that's why I brought those in. And these are self-adhesive, so I think I'm just going to add that right about there. I'm going to put one right up there, almost in the middle of that circle. And then I want one down here. I don't know if I want it right there, or maybe I think I'm going to peel that up and put that star right there. I want to create a visual triangle of embellishment, and I'm just using these stars as the base. And then I want to add in a few of these gold stars, just for a little bit more to emphasize the achievement. Put that one right there. And just do the same thing. I want to make sure there's at least one star, one glittery gold star in each embellishment cluster. I did add two right there. This is kind of a bigger cluster, and I like the look of the two on that one. And then I think the last thing that I want to add on this page is just some of these enamel dots, and that just brings a little bit of this darker, the royal blue up to this top layer. So I'm just going to take a couple of these and place them, let's see, one right there. Just place a couple of these in each embellishment cluster. I think I'm just going to do one down there, and we'll put to, and I am going to take, this looks a little bit sparse down here to me, so I'm going to add one more gold star right over here. And then I'm also just going to ask this, or add this phrase stamp that just says, "The best ever." I'm just going to add this down to this red label there. I think I'm going to do that a couple of times. Alright, and I think with that we will call this layout finished. So thank you for joining me on the weekly Scrapper blog. I'm Becky Adams, and I will be here every Thursday, so you can stop by and say hi. And make sure that you subscribe to the Scrapbook Expo YouTube channel so that you won't miss any of our fun videos. Thanks for joining me today.